Hi guys, my name is Kirsty and welcome back to Upside Down Books. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite authors and a book of hers that I literally recently just read, especially if you just watched my last video, and that is Terraformer by Collen Houck. So this was unexpectedly awesome and I really enjoyed it. So I read no, hang on, let me just fill you in on my dedication to my love for Collen Houck. So Collen Houck has like long time been my favorite author. She is the author that got me into reading. I hated reading up until I was about 13 years old, which is like really late for someone who loves reading as much as I do now. But I just hated reading, and then I picked up Tiger's Curse by Collen Houck and I have been a massive fan ever since. So I have read almost all of her books that she's written, with the exception of the third book in the Reawakened series. I don't know why I haven't read that yet, but that's the only one I haven't read. Oh wait, no, I haven't read Tiger's Dream either. I'm full of lies. But basically, Terraformer came out this year and I was really looking forward to it because it's her first step into sci-fi. I get really excited when an author that you love tries a different genre. It's like Bridget Kemmerer writing fantasy instead of contemporary for the first time. That was pretty exciting. Unfortunately, Collen Houck doesn't quite have the international reach that she deserves. And I am always struggling to get my hands on physical copies of her books, which is continuously devastating, but thank goodness we have ebooks, right? I don't read ebooks, but I basically bought a Kindle so that I could read Terraformer. I would be upset about my priorities in life, but I think actually that's a perfect reason to buy a Kindle. So I managed to get a hold of the ebook for Terraformer and I'm so glad I did. It was actually so enjoyable to read and it was quite quick to read. It's very fast paced. So, start with the statistics. I was a bit nervous going into Terraformer because the average rating actually wasn't spectacular, and that upset me as well as made me nervous because how dare anybody rate Collen Houck lower than like a 10 out of 5 stars? She says, having just rated it 4 out of 5. That's beside the point. So the average rating is 3.61. Now this was actually lower when I first bought the book. It has since gone up, and I like to think that there were just a lot of meany, nasty people out there who just, you know, those people that just go on Goodreads and rate something low because it's funny. Yeah, well, I don't like those people and I'm blaming them. So there's only 79 ratings, 59 reviews for this. I feel like the rating to review ratio probably tells you that there's a lot of fans reading this book because only fans do the reviews. So I'm gonna say the extra 20 people are the ones that just rated it 1 star for fun. Anyway, this book is a little strange, but I think it's quite good. So it's got an increasingly better average rating, and it's quite long, so it's 536 pages and it came out in May. So Collen Houck has written 2 other series. She's written the Tiger's Curse series, which is about Indian mythology and breaking curses, and she has written the Reawakened trilogy. The Reawakened series is about Egyptian mythology and it is also about breaking curses? Yeah, it's also about breaking curses. And then she's written a Halloween retelling, reimagining, which was a standalone, and now she has branched into sci-fi and moved away from mythology and retellings, which, like, honestly, I just want more cool, like, mythology retelling things, because, yeah. Anyway, my favourite thing about Collen Houck, and the reason I get so excited, is because she's really good at grounding her books in some knowledge. Bearing in mind, I have no knowledge of this myself, so maybe she's lying, but I remember reading a lot into Tiger's Curse and how she had, like, essentially a specialist on hand who was helping her do the research and get things slightly more correct than just talking out of her ass might have done. So I don't know how she's gone really with Terraformer, being science and a lot of, like, terraforming and spacey stuff. I think the fact that I called it spacey stuff probably indicates where I sit on the spectrum, but I think she does a good job of making it feel really real and authentic. Regardless of how it actually is, she just is a really good world builder without making it world building heavy. And I also think she writes good characters. Nobody writes love triangles better than Collen Houck. I kid you not. If you read any of her books, you will fall in love with the complex and beautiful dynamics that happen. It always feels so natural. There's always a really good reason that there's some sort of contention between the romantic interests of the main characters. And everybody has something different to offer. I like that all of her characters are nicely flawed. And Terraformer is no exception. So basically the plot of the story is that the main character, Astra, is the daughter of 2 really well-known scientists, and she wakes up early from hypersleep on a mission to a planet that they're going to terraform. She wakes up and both of her parents are not on board. She finds out that her mother was incarcerated just before takeoff, and she finds out that her father is dead. So she wakes up about 2 months earlier than everybody else, and it is all just like one big mystery going forwards. We know that she shouldn't technically be on this mission because she has some health defects and challenges that are very, very special and unique and complete science fiction because of the way that her mother conceived her. So there's a lot of like secrets going on around here, and we do a good job of establishing who Astra is and why she's there. The idea is that they're going to arrive at this planet and make it ready for other people to come and live on. But the plot really thickens, and at the beginning of the story we have like serious plot twist after serious plot twist, chapter after chapter. I literally was reading it in the bath and was exclaiming, going, what? Because of stuff that Collen Houck throws in the way of the plot. It's just unexpected and it's glorious and it's absolute mayhem. We start to get hints that maybe this planet might actually be sentient, that the trees have an agenda, and that all of the plants on the planet are trying to pick off the crewmen one by one. There is some like Day of the Triffids stuff going on here. The crossover that I originally compared it to was the Netflix series Lost in Space with Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. Like, I just think that's what you get. That you would get Terraformer if you married those two stories together. And it's done in a really clever way where we as readers are kind of like, come on, surely you can see what's happening here. Make the jump and forge the link and work out what's going on, but the characters don't. And I think one of my favourite things about the story in general was the way that she set up this particular love triangle. So we have Astra, we have the son of the mission leader, Thane, and we have a sort of outcast, like, hardworking kid called Jax, who's just... I really liked Jax. And you are totally prepped and ready to hate Thane. You know that him and his father are definitely agendaed in a bad way, and they are out to make a buck for themselves and they don't really care about others. But Astra seems like a really lovely character, and she's very trusting, and she's going through a lot. Her brother's being quite difficult and strange and distant from her, which is unusual, and Thane sort of singles her out and really, like, she really gets sexualized and objectified by him. And it's so uncomfortable as a reader, but we know that Astra doesn't really have a say in what's going on if she wants to keep any privileges or freedoms that she has, because everybody is monitored within an inch of their life. There are cameras all over the ships. They all have like tracking, like stuff on their tablets. Like, this really is just prepped for some mystery thriller stuff to go down. And you just are so ready to hate Thane, but Houck really keeps us teetering on the line between being like, oh, just drop him already and run away with Jax, but then Astra keeps highlighting the qualities in him that are okay, and it makes you question as a reader whether Thane might actually be nice and it's the influence of his dad that's making him appear cold. It is such like a complex character, not development, but investigation throughout the story, that you could definitely read into just being frustrated with Astra for not realizing that Thane is a bit of an arse. But I really enjoyed questioning it and trying to have faith in people that don't appear great to begin with. So I definitely think some of the really great things about this is the way that it is developed and how quickly plot twists come along. I enjoyed the science. I enjoyed how much sci-fi is thrown into the science with accelerator labs to help them like boost trees within 5 hours to be 5 years old so that they can plant them when they have a better chance at surviving, and they can do the same with animals. So there's a lot of like fun sci-fi going on in the background. But yeah, the plot twists are definitely what hook you in. I found it so hard to put down because you knew that something different and unusual was going to be thrown at you just around the corner. And there are so many of these unexpected twists in the story. I really enjoyed this, like 5-star, 6-star read up until about 75%, and that was when I started to take issue with a couple of things. So I don't want to poo-poo this book because I really did love it and I really enjoyed it, but I did find that we had a change in tone and a change in pace at about 75% of the way through that knocked a star off for me, unfortunately. I'm not going to give away any spoilers here, but I just thought Collen Houck had this nailed and just perfect, this awesome space opera laid out for us that was full of fun, but then she took away some of the really good elements of the story and it was definitely lacking for it in the end. I enjoyed the ending, I enjoyed what happened, it was what I wanted to happen, but it perhaps wasn't quite done in the way that I liked. It was still really easy to read, it was still addictive to read. It wasn't until I got to about 95% nearly done with the book that I actually looked back and went, oh, I wish she'd done a few things differently. But on the whole, I'm very much so like stuck in this story. I keep coming back to it in my mind and re-exploring what's happened. I think Houck has just done this amazing job of creating this new planet and everything that's on it, and I really, really enjoyed the idea of the planet being alive. I think that adds such a thrilling element to it that, I don't know, it just is this whole nother level of the story. It's not just, ooh, it's difficult to terraform a planet or there's an alien species on it. It's like, no, this is a sort of environmental thread going through the story, and there's nothing more exciting than something fighting back that shouldn't even have the awareness to fight it all. So I think that more or less sums up my rambling thoughts on this. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen my vlog, the last video that I put up, I'll link above, you can have a look, is my reading vlog of the whole week when I was reading this, so you can get some more real-time reactions of what I thought about it. But I really enjoyed it. I thought this was a brilliant book, and I'm really glad that it was 550 pages, because I think that she could have made it even longer to really stretch out the ending. It was just addictive to read. So if you are looking for something that is akin to Maria V. Snyder's like Sentinels of the Galaxy series, or even Claudia Gray's Firebird series, this is definitely within that genre, and this is the like niche YA, I guess easy to read sci-fi that I really like, coming from an area of really loving fantasy. I find these sci-fis few and far between because it's well done and simplified sci-fi, and usually I find when you simplify sci-fi it becomes boring or just cringy to read. So I would definitely be putting it up there with Claudia Gray and Maria V. Snyder's writing, so if you've read either of those, you are going to love this. This is so much fun, and I cannot wait to see what Houck writes next. So let me know down in the comments below if you've read this or if you're planning on reading it, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!